Welcome to topic two of entrepreneurship, that is the types of entrepreneurs. In our previous session, we looked at the introduction to entrepreneurship, whereby we said that entrepreneurship is the process of identifying opportunities, gathering resources, and taking risks to start a business. So we went ahead to look at some of the characteristics of entrepreneurship, whereby we said that entrepreneurship is characterized by innovation, it is characterized by opportunity identification, etc. We also went ahead to look at some of the contributions of entrepreneurship in the economic development of a country, whereby we talked about creation of employment opportunity, provision of training, and decentralization of infrastructural development. So today I want us to look at the topic two, that is the types of entrepreneurship or entrepreneurs. We're starting with the small business entrepreneurs. Small business entrepreneurs focus on establishing and managing their own ventures. They typically operate within a local community or market. So if you have any business which is serving one community, that is under small entrepreneurship. So if you're operating from, for example, Yambio, you are serving only people who are staying in Yambio, you are under the category of small entrepreneurs or small entrepreneurship. We're going to look at the characteristics of small entrepreneurs. How do we know that this business falls under small entrepreneurship? One characteristic is the limited resources. Small business entrepreneurs often start with modest or budget and limited capital. And that is because you are the only person who starts the business. You might not have the large capital to start a bigger business. Typically, we use our savings or our personal assets. You can sell them if you have a piece of land or any other asset to start the business. So therefore, the capital to start that business is very limited. You don't have much capital. The next characteristic is independence. Since you are the only owner of the business, it becomes very easy for you to make a decision. So you don't need consultations from other stakeholders or from other shareholders because you are the only person who is running the business. Therefore, decision making becomes very easy. You can wake up one day and decide to close the business, or you can wake up one day and decide to invest your money in whatever business you feel is the best. So therefore, you don't need another person in relation to decision making process. The next characteristic is local focus. They serve a specific community or target market, catering to local needs and preferences. Like I've told you from the beginning, they only operate in one community. If you are based in Juba here, you are only serving people who are staying in Juba, specifically Gurei. So the question now is, if you have a branch maybe in Meridi, you have another branch in Yambio, are you still under the category of small business? Yes, you are still under the category of small business because by definition of small business, it is a business which employs less than 50 workers. So if you have less than 50 workers, you are still under the category of small scale business. So basically, these are some of the characteristics of small scale business you need to know. Now let us look at some of the examples of these businesses, small scale businesses. One, we have the local cafes, independent coffee shops that offer unique experiences and personalized service. Then we have retail stores. For example, we have the boutique, we have the shops, we have the specialized in niche products providing actual selection for customers. Then we have freelance consultants, individuals offering specialized expertise in areas like marketing, designing, or coaching, etc. So, for example, if you are IT specialist in your area, you can open up a consultancy business whereby people could come to you for consultancy. You give them the advice in relation to the ICT. That's if you are an IT expert. Also, if you are a logistic expert, you can also open your business for consultancy, whereby if anyone needs logistical services or advice, he or she can easily contact you. So basically, these are some of the examples of small scale business or small entrepreneurship. So let us look at the challenges facing the small scale business. One is the limited capital. Like I've told you from the beginning, the owners of the small business, they don't have a lot of capital to expand the business. So it is a challenge to them because if you want to access even a loan from the bank looks at your assets. How much do you have in terms of asset before they give you a bank loan in terms of collateral security? So it is very difficult for small business owners to obtain much or larger capital compared to the large business organization. The next one is competing with the larger businesses. Small business entrepreneurs face competition from established companies with greater resources. But these established companies can be international companies, they have branches across the world, and for you, you are only operating in one community. How will you compete with such an organization? So it becomes very difficult for small scale business owners. So if you are not creative enough, you can easily close your business because of the competition from international business organizations. Next challenge is balancing roles. They often handle multiple responsibilities from marketing, operations to customer services. For example, if you are making chapati by the roadside, you are responsible for making sure that chapati is available at all time. You are responsible for making sure that the chapati are sold to the customers. You are responsible for any other activities related to chapati making. So it is becoming very inconvenient to the owners of the small scale business to manage their businesses. So these are some of the challenges facing small scale business entrepreneurs. The next slide we're looking at now the social entrepreneurs. The first one was the small scale entrepreneurs, but now we are looking at the social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs are individuals who use innovative approaches to address social or environmental challenges. They combine business principles with a mission to create positive and sustainable impact. For example, banks, schools. So if I can narrow this explanation down at the context of Rizzo University, I think Rizzo University is under social entrepreneurs because we want to change the society through education. We want to change the way you live your life through education. So therefore, Aristo University is under social entrepreneurship. We don't make profit. The tuition we charge is basically to provide for people the services, to make sure that the rent is taken care of, to make sure that the staff is taken care of, to make sure that the websites are updated. So basically, that is how we spend the tuition. So we don't have profit. It's basically the tuition paying to get the services. So we are under social entrepreneurs. Now, what are the characteristics of social entrepreneurship? One is the social mission. Have a clear social and environmental objective embedded in their business model. So, what is our mission as an institution? To make sure that the community gets what? Education. And that's what we are doing. So, it is under social mission. The next one is innovation. They seek creative solutions to address systematic issues and create long lasting change. How is Rift University innovative? Those who joined us from the beginning up to now, they can testify how innovative the university has been. I can give you a practical example of the university app which we have just developed. That's part of the innovation. In that app, you can get your transcript, you can get your financial statement or status. But unfortunately, in the old platform, do you have the transcript? You don't have. Can you access the financial details? You cannot. So therefore, we are becoming innovative. Okay, we are becoming innovative, and we are under social entrepreneurship. The next one is sustainability. They aim for long-term impact and financial viability. So our education is everlasting. We don't teach you today and tomorrow we expect you to forget everything. No. Any other institutions, academic institutions, they make sure that the knowledge they are giving to the students are long lasting, and that is where we fall. So basically, these are some of the characteristics of entrepreneurship. So what are the impact areas? The impact areas of social entrepreneurs are poverty, education, healthcare, and environmental sustainability. So Risto University is under the impact areas of education. We want to make sure that we have a community of educated people. Now, if someone is running a private hospital, then his or her area is the health care. So these are some of the areas of social entrepreneurship. So how do they measure their success? Social entrepreneurs measure success based on both social impact and financial sustainability. For example, if we are giving you education, how do we measure the success? We are measuring the success on the way by the way you act in the community or through whether you are employed or not, and also your performance on the job is what we use for measuring the success. If you are not performing well on the job, you are not employed, you are not behaving well in the community, then we shall term ourselves to be not doing the right thing. You have not lived to our expectations. So for us, we measure the success through your employability, the way you live in the society, the impact, the positive impact you're going to have in the society is what we call our measurement success. Now, lastly, they use indicators such as lives impacted, environmental outcomes, and financial viability. So that is how social entrepreneurs can measure their success. Now, the next slide, I want us to look at challenges facing social entrepreneurs. Just like the small scale business, social entrepreneurs are also faced by the challenge of limited resources. For example, Rest University, the fund we have is the tuition collection. That is the fund we use, and it is really limited. So sometimes you find students are not paying the money in time. That one affects the institution. For example, if you want to open up a branch, maybe Eastern Equatoria, where do we get the fund from? Okay, it means we are going to look at the tuition collections in order to facilitate the branch in Eastern Equatoria. So it becomes very challenging for the social entrepreneurs in terms of resources. The next one is the policy barrier. Social entrepreneurs may encounter legal, regulatory, or cultural hurdles. Legal regulations in terms of the registration procedures, that one affects the social entrepreneurs. Because for you to operate, you need to be registered by the government, you need to obtain the operation license, etc. So these regulations, if they are not fair, then it's going to be affecting the operation or the registration of a social entrepreneurship, the organization under social entrepreneurship. So it is a must for any organization operating in South Sudan to be registered and recognized by the government. So these are some of the challenges facing social entrepreneurs. Now let us look at the innovation and the adaptability. How are they able to adapt to the changing environment? Social entrepreneurs embrace innovation to develop novel approaches that interrupt traditional systems. So let us come back to the context of education and specifically Risto University. Traditionally, we study face to face. In class, you need to be in class, okay, do the assignments, the examination, attending lectures, etc. But for us, university, we offer those services online, and that's being innovative. Okay, it favors people like you who are working. You don't need to think about work and think about classes at the same time. So you can have the resources online. You study at your own pace so long as you are following the academic programs, etc. So by doing that, the organization is actually trying to be innovative and try to wipe away the traditional ways of doing things. The next one is they adapt to a changing needs and context to maximize their impact. What do we intend to achieve as an institution? We need to have a community of people who are educated, not just educated, community of people who are living to the expectations of the others. So that's what we want you people to do. And as an institution, we always encourage you to make sure that you live by that. Don't just study and get your marks, pass, and then forget the basics. That does not make sense. So you need to go back and help the community through the education you have obtained from Bristol University, especially those who are doing public health. You're doing public health, but if you go to the community, you're not practicing anything to do with the public health. Have you really studied at Bristol University? That's not right. So you need to practice what you've learned at Bristol University. So these are some of the innovation and the adaptability strategy used by the social entrepreneurs to make sure that their impact are felt in the community. The last type of entrepreneurship we are going to look at is the corporate entrepreneurship. Corporate entrepreneurship refers to entrepreneurial activities within established companies, fostering innovation, creativity, and risk-taking to drive growth and competitiveness. So when we talk of corporate entrepreneurship, in other words, we are meaning about intrapreneurship, which is practicing the principle of entrepreneurship within an established organization. For example, we have the MTN. People who work in MTN, they are very innovative and they are entrepreneurs. By doing that, they are practicing what we call corporate entrepreneurship. If you can identify an opportunity for MTN, that's not for you. You are identifying it for MTN as a company. Therefore, you are an employee and you become entrepreneur. Okay, someone who practices the principle of entrepreneurship and organization. So basically, that is the definition of corporate entrepreneurship. So another word for corporate entrepreneurship can be intrapreneurship, the one with the IN, okay, TRA. Now let us look at the benefits of corporate entrepreneurship. It increases innovation. How does corporate entrepreneurship increase innovation? For example, if you have more than 10 people who are working in your organization and all of them are innovative, then you have a chances of being innovative. You're going to produce new products. Remember the definition of innovation. It is simple introduction of something new to the market or modification of the current products in order to suit the current demand of the customer. So when you have people who are innovative in your organization, then chances of you uh, producing new products or services in the market is extremely high. Another benefit is that market expansion. So corporate entrepreneurship helps companies explore new markets, diversify revenue streams, and stay ahead of their competitors. For example, Bristol University began by I think only 2 or 3 academic programs, but as we speak now, we have very many academic programs, and this has helped us to have a good number of students across all the programs. So by doing that, we are going to be ahead of our competitors who are offering maybe only 2 or 3 programs. For example, if we are having a program which is not offered at other universities, what do you expect? Because students will be joining us, and by the time they join us, it means we are going to be expanding as an institution. So these are some of the benefits of corporate entrepreneurship. Now, lastly, I want us to look at challenges. What are some of the challenges facing corporate entrepreneurship? One of the challenges is risk aversion, overcoming resistance to change and the fear of failure within established organizations. The top management might be resistant to change. And if you are resistant to change, there is no way you're going to be innovative because innovation is all about change, introduction of something new or modification of the current product to suit the current need. If you have a team of management which does not support change, if you have a team of management which fears failure, then you cannot be successful. So one of the challenges facing the corporate entrepreneurship is the risk aversion. People fear to take risk. Number two is resource constraints. Managing the allocation of resources between core business operations and entrepreneurial initiatives. Business resources can be in terms of finance, it can also be in terms of human resources. So if you're trying to be innovative by creating new products in the market, it means you need to have more human resource. It means you need to have more finances in order to facilitate some of these production process. So by doing that, the organization is going to be constrained financially. The next challenge is balancing short-term and long-term goals. So finding a balance between meeting immediate financial targets and investing in future growth and the innovation. That is a challenge because innovation is all about long term. It is something you cannot achieve today or tomorrow. But the financial targets, because you also need to sustain the organization. At the end of the month, you need to take care of the wage bill, you need to take care of the rent. All that is under short term. How about the long term? So it becomes challenging if you want to balance it because you might find that you need money in the short term and at the same time you need to invest money for future. So these are some of the challenges facing corporate entrepreneurship. So that's what I prepared for you and in the next presentation. Thank you so much for watching.